So the pipeline that we're going to be building is automatic deployments to our Heroku site here. So anytime you make changes, I want it to automatically deploy to Heroku and display those changes as the most recent version of the website. Just go to your repository workpage on GitHub, and there's an actions button next to the pull request button. So just click on that, and then we can start filling in our main.yaml content. The first part of creating our GitHub action workflow is to give it a name, an appropriate name. So here I just have deploy to Heroku server because that's what this GitHub action will pretty much do. The next part of our YAML file is the triggering event. So on pushes to main, this workflow will run. Similarly, you can mention pull requests. So when pull requests are made to main, this workflow will also trigger. But this is more common in a collaborative sense. But since I'm working by myself, there is not much need for it. So that's why I commented it out, but thought I'd mention it anyway. Our next part of building our YAML file includes our jobs. And this section here, we're defining two jobs here. We're defining a build job and a deploy job. As you might guess by the names, these build and deploy. So let's take a look into this into more detail. So firstly, within our build job, we have this runs on command, and this pretty much just specifies the type of machine to run the code on. And in this example here, we're using the latest version of Ubuntu, but you can expand this out to test on, run on any machine you'd like. Next, we're specifying our node version. So here we're telling it to use node version 18.x, which just means use any version of node version 18, any version. The next part is our steps. So here we have this use actions checkout, and this action checks out our repository under the GitHub workspace, so our workflows can access it. The next step is to use Node.js, of course. This action pretty much just sets up a Node.js environment to run your project, and it's using node version matrix strategy, which, as you can tell over here, we've mentioned a matrix node version. So, and the next part are our run commands, and these are the shell command that will be running on this Ubuntu machine that GitHub will spin up for us. So first of all, we have npm CI, and this just installs all of our project dependencies. So since this is a React app, it's going to be installing React and all the other dependencies I need for this app. Next is npm run build, and this is usually the command we use to build a production ready version of the site. So next we're going to be talking about our deploy job. And the first thing to mention here is that the deploy job needs the build job to be completed first. So that's the first thing we're going to put into our deploy job. The next step is mentioning what type of machine it runs on. And again, we're just going to use the latest version of Ubuntu. The next step is a conditional action. So this action pretty much just specifies that this job should only run if the push or pull request was made to the main branch. So then we have some steps, and first of all, we're just checking out our repository for access in the job with this actions/checkout. Then we're just going to run some commands similarly to in our build job. We have we're running npm CI and npm run build, and this is just going to clean up the code, install dependencies, and make a production ready version of the app. The next action is this. I don't even have to say. I'm not going to attempt to say that. But pretty much what this action is doing is actually deploying it to our Heroku server. So to deploy to our server, we also need to pass some credentials in. This is so that we know what specific app, because we could have multiple apps on our Heroku account. And I'm mentioning an API key, the app name, and my email. So yeah, we get this API key from our secrets, which you access by going to settings. If you go to secrets and variables, click on actions, and under repository secrets, we can create a new secret. And here I've just named it Heroku API key. To actually get your API key, you need to go into your account settings. Give it a second to load. And API key. You just reveal that, copy it, and paste it into here and give it a name. So that is the pipeline complete. So now that we have our pipeline set up, I'm going to show you guys why having this pipeline is very good for you to implement in your projects. So currently we're missing a footer, so I'm going to create a React component, and we're going to deploy these changes to GitHub, which will then deploy straight to our Heroku server. Okay, so I have just created the React component and I have pushed it to my development branch. Here is the React component. Now, this video is by no means a way to show you my ability to make good React UI components. That's not really what I'm good at, but nonetheless, we've pushed it to our development branch. So yeah, I'll show you the next steps. So I've just opened up a new pull request and I'm putting my development branch into main. I'm going to create this pull request. And now we can see here, this branch has no conflict. So we'll just merge the full pull request. And there we have merged into main. But now if we go into our actions, you can see over here that we have a job queued up. So we can actually click onto this and see everything that we've done in our main.yaml file is now running. It's running on a machine in the cloud, and I'll be back in a second to show you when this is done. So currently we're just going through the deploy job. As you can see, this is the live version of the app as we see it now. But we're just going to wait for this to finish. We're going to wait for this to finish running, and then we're going to simply refresh the page to see all of our new changes. So our build job has just finished, and now if I refresh the page, you can see now that our changes are in our live version of our app. So there it is, very simple tutorial on how to set up Heroku CI pipelines. And yeah, many more to come, I guess. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys after.